we have time for questions and answers at the end of this session. You can ask questions in the chat during the presentations, but also if time allows, we will open the screen for some questions and answers at the end of this session. And the questions should be of general topic, not specific project ideas or bilateral initiative ideas. Should be of interest for everybody. All right, so before I give the floor or the screen rather to my colleagues Egli and Marin for presentation of the call, I would like to give you some background information about Innovation Norway and also the EA and Norway grants. Here you can see the agenda for this session, and I would like to start by saying that Innovation Norway, for those of you that don't know us yet, we are a public company under the Norwegian Ministry of Trade, Industry and Fisheries in Norway. So they are our main owners, but also the county councils in Norway are the owners of Innovation Norway. So Innovation Norway is the Norwegian authorities' most important tool for business development in Norway. Please mute your mic. So Innovation Norway is then the main tool for Norwegian authorities for business development in Norway. And through different type of mergers, Innovation Norway is actually a regional development agency. We are a development bank. We are an innovation agency, and we are also the official trade promotion agency abroad. So we have a lot of things to offer to Norwegian entities. However, we also have some special assignments related to, for instance, EEA and Norway grants. And we can take the next slide, maybe. Next one. So as you know, Norway is not a member of the European Union, but we are a member of the European Economic Area, EEA area agreement. And when Croatia became an EU member, you also became a member of the EEA agreement. So through this agreement, Norway, as well as Iceland and Liechtenstein, we have access to the EU's internal market. But everything comes with a price. So we have the EEA and Norway grants financial mechanism. This is our contribution to the reduction of economic and social disparities in the European Economic Area region. So this means that we are offering financial services or financial contribution to 15 countries or 16 countries. It was previous period. Now this period it has been 15 countries in the southern and eastern part of Europe. It is the first time that Croatia entered this EEA and Norway grants financial mechanism, and in this present period that is now ending, Croatia received in total 113 million euros to different programs. Next slide. So as you see on this chart, this is where the countries that have selected a business development, innovation and SME programs in this present financial period of the EEA Norway grants. And Innovation Norway has been the fund operator for Bulgaria, Croatia, Greece and Romania. Then a few words about the Business Development and Innovation Croatia program. The aim of this program is to increase value creation, competitiveness and profitability in the Croatian enterprises. We launched this program back in June 2020, and we have organized now 4 open calls with competition. So the projects have been selected through competition. In total, for these 4 calls, we received 184 applications, and we have selected 64 projects out of these applications. Out of these 64 projects, we have 12 within the blue growth focus area and 52 within the green industry innovation focus area. 19 of the projects selected have Norwegian partners, and we would have liked to see even more Norwegian partners in the different projects. There were several Norwegian partners included in the applications, but for different reasons, and not all the projects with Norwegian partners were selected. We have now finalized the implementation of the projects. All projects will have to finish by 30th of April this year, so we are still receiving some final reports. We have seen that during this program, we have contributed to generate more jobs. It's actually more than 300 jobs reported as established. There will also be a reduction of CO2 emissions and reduction of energy consumption, etc. And of course, the main aim was to help the Croatian companies to grow and develop their business in order to increase their turnover and profitability. Since we saw that there were some savings in some of the projects, we took the opportunity to organize this bilateral call, which is a different type of call, where the main aim is actually to explore ways of future bilateral collaboration between, I would say, the private sector in Norway and in Croatia. Just to add that Innovation Norway has the fund operator. We have been collaborating with the Croatian Chamber of Economy, CCE, and in particular when it comes to awareness raising about the program. And they have been very helpful in this respect. Except from that, Innovation Norway is operating as a one-stop center, you can see. We are fully responsible from A to Z. And the national focal point for the EA Norway grants in Croatia is the Ministry of Regional Development. I think by this background and introduction, I will give the scene to my colleagues, and I think Egli is the first one to start. Please. Thank you.
Okay, maybe Marin, you can move ahead with the next slide.
Yeah. Do you see it now?
I am okay. It seems that I can move it. Does everybody see the new slide of open call? Maybe you can. Yes. No, you don't see it?
No.
Okay, Marin, I guess you will have to do some magic then.
Just a second. Okay. Do you see now the aim of bilateral call slide?
I don't.
Okay, just a second.
Now it is okay.
Now we can see it.
Okay.
Okay, do you see it now?
But I don't see it.
So we are now on the red slide.
Okay.
And now on the aim of bilateral call. I mean,
No,
do you see it?
I don't see it.
We see it.
You see it, but I don't. So I don't know what I'm presenting. Okay. Then Marin, the two of us, we will have to synchronize somehow.
Okay, I'm now at slide number 8.
Okay.
I'm showing slide number 8.
Okay, so then I'll start. So good morning, everyone. My name is Egli Ilic. I'm a senior program officer here in Innovation Norway. And I will speak a little bit about the bilateral call itself, and then Marin will continue with some practical details about the call. So the aim of the call is, as you can see on the slide, to increase the long-term bilateral cooperation between Croatian and Norwegian entities in blue growth and green industry innovation focus areas. So these focus areas are the focus areas for our entire program. And this bilateral call is no different. So the cooperation must be increased in these focus areas. What is important to say about this call that this is a bilateral cooperation between the two countries, between Croatian and Norwegian entities. And in case you don't have a partner from the other country, from either Norway or Croatia, you will not be eligible applicant for this call. The deadline for this call for the application is exactly in 1 month from now. It is July 18th at 1 o'clock Croatian and Norwegian time. And to apply to this call for financing, you simply need to submit your application and other supporting documents to our official email address, which is croinnovation@innovationnorway.no. Okay, maybe you can
Okay, yeah,
move
number 9 is now.
to the next.
Yeah.
The eligible applicants and partners. Eligible applicants and partners are any entity, public or private, commercial or non-commercial, established as legal persons in Croatia or Norway. It basically means that you can be SME, you can be a large company, you can be a public entity like university or NGO, established maybe a month ago. You will be eligible as an applicant or a partner for this call, as long as you have been established in Croatia or in Norway. This call is specific in a way that it requires a partner from the other country. So you have to have a partner. If you're a Croatian entity, you have to have a partner from Norway, or if you are an entity from Norway, you have to have a partner from Croatia. And this partnership must be established at the time when you apply for the call. So you cannot establish partnership after you have applied for the call, because in that case you would not be eligible for financing. It must be mentioned also that you will have to find your own partner. Innovation Norway will not find a partner for you. Innovation Norway has organized a number of matchmaking events, either online, either live. And these were the opportunities where you could have met your potential partner and make a connection. And we were actually hoping that some of these connections will result in quality partnership within this call. Also, when you apply for the financing, you will have to draft a partnership agreement and you will have to attach it to your application. So, of course, this partnership agreement does not have to be signed, but we must see what would be the basics of the partnership. Okay, we can.
Okay, now it's next slide, yeah, number 10.
Okay. When it comes to the amount with which you can apply, the minimum amount of your application should be 25,000 euros and the maximum amount should be 100,000 euros. Keep this in mind, because if you apply with maybe even a euro less than 25,000, you will not be eligible and you will be excluded from this call. If you're applying to this call, you can only submit one application, but if you participate as a partner, you can participate in multiple projects. So there are no restrictions on the number of partnership you can have within this call. The available budget for this call is 325,000 euros. This is the current amount, and this is something that we at this point have from savings from other projects within our program. But we expect that as new projects are being closed every day, that we will have a lot more than this amount by the end, maybe even double this amount.
Okay, next slide.
Yes. So the areas of cooperation, as mentioned earlier, the focus area of our program are green industry and innovation and blue growth. So possible areas of cooperation must involve these two focus areas. And the cooperation can be established, for example, within renewable energy, within circular economy, sustainable blue economy, energy storage, including batteries, zero emission transportation, including green shipping, sustainable bioeconomy, smarter sustainable city solutions, carbon capture and storage. But of course, this list is not exhaustive. So areas of cooperation may be even wider than this list.
Okay, next slide.
Yes. Eligible, when it comes to eligible activities, again, I must stress this one more time. All activities must be related to relevant areas of the call, which is blue or green area. Some of the eligible activities include feasibility studies, data collection, preparing of some reports or some analysis of some market opportunities, some new markets, new technologies and solutions. Study trips are also eligible within this call, different workshops, networking and matchmaking events, sharing and transfer of knowledge, some solutions and best practices, or establishing cooperation between clusters, some business associations or networks that would be of benefit for both countries and the entire sector.
Okay, next one.
Okay, next one. A few words about the eligibility percentage. As you probably know, as you have probably gone through the call, we intend to allocate the funding in accordance with the de minimis regulation, which means that if you are eligible for de minimis support, the grant rate will be 85%. So you will have to come up with the remaining 15% from your own resources. However, if you are not eligible for de minimis, if you have exhausted your de minimis quota, then the grant will be awarded in accordance with GBER regulation. And this basically means lower rate depending on the appropriate article that will be in question. It may be 50% or some other percentage, but as a general rule, it will be lower than 85%. But we really think that very few entities will be awarded the grant rate in accordance with GBER. So in most cases, it will be 85%. And when it comes to public entities, I know that there are many participants now coming from public entities such as universities or NGOs. The eligibility percentage will be 85.
Okay, next one.
Okay. Yes, eligible project cost. Some of the eligible project costs will include staff costs. So the person hours involved in doing the tasks, doing the assignments. I have to mention that you have to report when you do the budget, you have to include a real actual costs of your salaries, because when you will be reporting on these costs, you will have to provide your payroll slip or other document proving that your costs are actually those that you have initially provided in the detailed budget. Eligible costs also include travel expenses and activities related to the project, costs related to conducting studies and analysis, costs of organizing seminars and workshops, some subcontracting expenses, meaning if you need some consulting services from external consultant, you can engage this consultant, and this consultant doesn't have to be only Croatian or Norwegian. Subcontracting is allowed also for external consultancies. And also when preparing your budget, please include some costs that are arising directly from the requirements of this call. This, for example, includes publicity. So you need to have some sort of visibility of the project. You need to communicate the project and the results of the project to a broader audience. So you need to you are allowed to include some publicity costs into your budget to carry out these activities. These are symbolic; these are not big, but still you can include these costs. Also, your report. So when you will report on your activities and when you will request for reimbursement, your documentation will have to be audited. You will have to select an independent auditor to carry out audit of your report. And these costs, the cost of audit, are also eligible for financing from this call. So please include it also into your budget. What you can also include in the budget are indirect expenses, meaning the overheads. So the overheads are costs of electricity, for example, of renting the office, or cost of water, and so on and so forth. And these costs basically are calculated on the person hours, because a person who is in the office will incur these expenses. And basically you can calculate them as a flat rate to your direct costs. The flat rate could be up to 25%. So you cannot go above 25%, but you can go below 25%. And to document these expenses, you will not need to provide any documentation as long as you are within this percentage. You do not calculate these overheads to cost of subcontracting or the cost of third parties, because, for example, if you have a contract with a consultant who has carried out the services within their premises, you cannot calculate costs of renting or cost of electricity on these expenses because you have not basically had these expenses. Okay,
Next slide.
Move on. Yes, and maybe a few words about project examples so you can get an idea what your projects can be about. So your project may be about sharing the know-how on green technologies between Croatia and Norway. For example, how to use or how to produce biodegradable materials, about greener production processes, about reuse or recycling of materials during production, some feasibility studies within the focus area, blue growth and green industry innovation. It can be about collaboration between Croatian and Norwegian clusters within maritime and marine sector, or sharing the best practices about operation of clusters in a fruitful way between of all members. Some study trips to Croatia, from Norway to Croatia, or from Croatia to Norway, to showcase and share best practices, for example, on smart ports, on waste collection and sorting, about sustainable and environmentally friendly construction of buildings, on recycling of plastic waste from industry, and so on and so forth. And this was basically what I have to say from my part, and my colleague Marin will now continue with some other details about the call.
Yep. Okay, thank you. We'll now say a few words about evaluation and selection process for the project applications. I see some questions piling up on chat. We will go back to them during Q&A, where you will also be allowed to ask live questions. Okay, so when we receive your applications, they will go through some assessing, of course. First, we will go to administrative criteria, where we'll see the, let's say, formal part of the application. So, of course, all project applications have to be submitted in English by the deadline, of course, set in the text call. We decided that we will receive applications by email, not through our application portal. So please send it by email. It is advised that you send all the attachments, let's say, separately, not zip it in one folder because of our company firewall. They can be mistakenly moved to spam or something, and then it would be. We advise you also because I mean, we had some issues previously with calls like this submitted by email. Please check if your application went through. So if we received it. Okay. Of course. Then we move to eligibility criteria. All project activities have to be completed by 20 February 2025. So it means that whatever activities you had planned for your projects, they have to be, let's say, feasible and viable by that date. And of course, as mentioned before, please request a grant amount somewhere between 25,000 and 100,000 euros. And of course, cooperation between Croatia and Norway is mandatory in this call. So after we done the eligibility criteria and assessing, we will go to scoring. We will have let's say four criteria inside this, where we will give points from 1 to 6. So in total, maximum you can receive 24 points. So we will consider the effect of your project. All this is listed in the call text, so you can use it as a guide when you are writing your application. So the effect will be measured in how clearly your project contributes to blue growth or green industry innovation focus area. Is it coherent with the aim of the call? As you remember, at the beginning, we said that aim of the call is long-term business cooperation between Norway and Croatia businesses. So here we can underline long-term and business. I see that lots of participants now in this session is from academia or from public entities. You are all, of course, eligible applicants and partners, but please be aware that this is a business program. This is not Erasmus. This is not cost action. This is not Horizon. So we will pay special attention to that the result of this call or your projects are long-term business cooperations. Okay, so results must result in increased mutual knowledge about business opportunities, can be scaled up, and can be will be well communicated. Efficiency, the aims are SMART, smart, specific, measurable, assignable, realistic, and time-bound. The budget is appropriate, necessary, and justified. So please have in mind that all the budget items are well thought through and calculated, that we don't see, hundreds of hours spent on some activities and some let's say overestimated prices and things like that. We also don't want underestimated prices, of course. Feasibility. Okay, so of course your project or your project activities have to be feasible regarding timeline. As you know, your project activities start 1st of October and have to be finalized by 20 February. So please have in mind that that is not long time. So you have to think of all the risks, let's say, that can happen, and that your activities are, doable in that timeline. And of course, that applicant and partner or partners have set aside the resources necessary for the initiative. That means that not only your financial part, because you will have to cover, let's say, at least 15% of the budget, but also the resources in time, in staff. We will pay attention to your previous experiences, to your area of expertise, and then things like that. And we will also score your bilateral cooperation. So the project must clearly outline mutual interest and benefits for the partners. It will be better if you already within your application you already identified the participants or the beneficiaries. As I said before, if the project promoter is a cluster or institute or university, beneficiaries have to be in a direct way companies. So you have to organize something that will increase business cooperation between Croatia and Norway, or the other way around. And of course, cooperation must include substantial contribution from both partners involved. So the partnership is relevant and balanced. That means that those partnerships have to make sense in a way. We don't want to see applications with partners doing some technical or everyday things. They have to contribute substantially to the partnership and to the project, and all that has to be clear from the described activities and from the budget, of course. Okay, we now move on to the application process. Here are the mandatory documents for this call for your applications. They're all listed here, and you can find them on our call website. I guess you already either download them or took a look or went through them or even start filling them in. So application form is of course the main document, and these other four are maybe attachments to the application form. So draft partnership agreement is there for you to have it as a template to write your partnership agreement with your partners, which is mandatory. De minimis declaration serves to show if you are eligible for de minimis. As you know, from start of this year, the amount of de minimis that can be received in 3 years has been increased from 200,000 to 300,000 euros. So be aware of that, please. Self-declaration of the applicant, that's an also rather formal document, in simple, straightforward document to fill in. And the detailed budget, which is Excel document with 2 sheets. We will say a few words more detailed about that. Okay, so the main document, application form, as I mentioned, it's already available on our call website. So it consists of 3 parts, let's say. Applicant details. So you state some facts, information about the applicant and the partner or the partners, and also about the partnership. So you will see that justification for that specific partnership is has to be explained. And then the third part is let's say project information, where you state the project title, objective, activities. You have to explain or describe the activities, set the timeline and explain the feasibility in that short timeline, explain the results and set the budget necessary for the project, but in sum or in total numbers. Okay, we'll say something about this detailed activity-based budget. So here in the upper part of this sheet, you state some information about the project and the partners, and then you fill in the budget lines in these yellow cells, let's say. You have to, just a second. You have to state a short description of the budget item, let's say. Unit type, is it hours? Usually staff cost is set in hours. Number of units, let's say how many hours do you need for the specific activity. Unit cost is how much is your gross hour worth, let's say. Is it cost of the promoter or the partner, and you calculate the total amount and your own contribution. So let's say if you use 85% of the minimum state, so your own contribution will be 15%. And you go activity by activity and fill in the budget lines. We expect when we receive your Excel sheets, your budget sheets, that we can let's say we can see the connection between the Excel file and the application form. So all the costs that are under, let's say, one activity that are in the budget, we have to somehow see them, find them, and find explanation for them in the narrative part in the application form. And also make sure, please, that those two files are in line with one another. After you fill in all the activities, let's say you have 3 or 4 activities, then they will be automatically summed up in this lower part of the sheet. Second sheet of the Excel file is the disbursement plan. So here you can select when the project starts, when the project ends. Do you want to receive the advance payment? Advance payment is usually 10%, but it can go up to 20% of total grant if fairly justified and needed. We make payments to promoters only on reimbursement principle. That means that you have to pay the expenses first and then claim the costs later. The payments are made only to the promoter's account. So even if the partner has, let's say, substantial part of the budget, we will pay to the promoters, and then the promoters forward the partner's part to the partners, and that should be stated all and described in the partnership agreement. We expect to see and make one payment in addition to advance payment if it's requested. So advance payment has to be requested by the promoter. Since it's a short time of implementation, we expect to see one payment, and the final report needs to include external audit report. I see that there are some questions about that, so we will get to that a little bit later. And of course, it's always good to read some general literature. So the essential reading for the applicants should be standard terms and conditions, guidelines on cross-cutting issues, and communication guidelines, which will be needed during your publicity activities. Okay. I think we are now finished with this part of the info session. We can now move on to Q&A.
So, Marin,
Yes.
Thank you very much to Egil and Marin for the presentation. I think before we start with the Q&A, thank you for submitting some questions. Some of them are very basic, others are more, is not difficult, but we will reply to them. I would just like to repeat or to stress even once again that we have very short period available for implementation of these bilateral initiatives. It's actually 5 months. And the deadlines that have been mentioned here, deadline for application, deadline for project implementation, must be respected. And also, I would like to add that the final report to Innovation Norway need to be submitted by 21st of March. This is included in the call text. This also need to be respected. We cannot delay this reporting deadline because the program is coming to an end on the 30th of April next year. So Innovation Norway also need to finish all payments, etc. before that. Also, since this is a bilateral call, where the aim is really to explore ways of collaboration, bilateral collaboration in the future, you should also have a plan to show us also that you have a plan and how you will actually continue the collaboration, the bilateral collaboration after the bilateral initiative has been finished. This is really important for us to see that this is something that you start something, some collaboration that really have the potential to be explored further in the future. It was mentioned here about management cost. Just to mention that we do not expect the high management cost in these bilateral initiatives. It should only be one person who is communicating with Innovation Norway, who will organize the audit and prepare the collaborate with the partners, of course, and also to prepare the final report. So I think it is said in the regulation that maximum 10% of the total budget could be management. This includes also overhead costs, just to have this in mind. And of course, we expect that there will be some travels in these initiatives. we suggest that you use a lump sum for these travels. So Innovation Norway is using, as you have seen, between 1,200 euros or 1,500 euros in order to cover the flight tickets, the accommodation, and meals for a 2-day stay in Norway or in Croatia. So it's better to use these type of lump sums instead of start to calculate per diem and a lot of details. Make it simple and have a few activities that you are sure that you will manage to implement in this short time, instead of have big ambitions and you are not able to finalize everything in time after all. So just one more thing. I think so if you have a feasibility study or data collection or pre-feasibility study rather, we want the applicant and the partner to actually be as much involved as possible. So you should use your own experts and competence in order to collect the data and to collaborate to prepare the study or a workshop or whatever you are going to do in your project. Rather this than to hire somebody to do it on your behalf. We want the applicant and partner to really collaborate and work together on this matter. I think this was what I wanted to repeat. Then maybe one of the questions I can reply to, one or two other questions before Egle and Marin can reply to the others. First of all, it was a question about what is de minimis. So in Norwegian, we call it bagatellmessig støtte. And this is a type of aid that we can give to all type of companies, but as it is not, it is small money and it is not actually distort any competition. So if you have more questions in Croatian, maybe then my colleagues can reply to this. Also, when it comes to man hours, it is really, we expect a lot of man hours in these bilateral initiatives, of course, but it should be your ordinary salary plus social contribution and eventual overheads. So no consulting fee, etc. It has to be the actual salary cost. Okay, maybe again, Marin can take over and reply to some of the other questions. And if some of you want to raise your hand and ask another question, you can also do that.
Okay, so you have responded on what is the minimum support. If somebody wants some additional clarification on that, you can ask that also. Then the next question is the eligibility percentage for cities also 85%? Yes, it is. What is the audit? Audit in Croatian means revizija. And as I clarified during my part of presentation, your report, when you will be reporting on the activities carried out and expenditures which you had, you will have to arrange for the audit of that report, the audit of all activities and all expenditures which you have carried out. And this audit report will make part of your final report to Innovation Norway. And the auditor has to be, of course, certified auditor, and it has to be an independent auditor from those auditors who carry out the audit of your financial reports. So I hope I have answered your question.
And also one other thing regarding audit reports, we have a small short document with listed the minimal requirements for audit reports. So we will disperse those to the successful applicants when we make contracts with them. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Marin. And in addition to that, in standard terms and conditions, if you're successful in this call, you will get a contract, and within the contract there will be standard terms and conditions, which I believe you can also find on our website. And there are the requirements of auditors and things that auditors have to do and carry out when they carry out the audit of your report. And there is another question related to audit. So is audit obligatory also for Croatian partners? So basically, we ask our applicants to arrange for the audit. And the audit has to be carried out for the entire project and the entire documentation, encompassing applicant, like project promoter, and its partner. But if Croatian is a partner in the project, then Croatian entity doesn't have to arrange for a separate audit. It is the responsibility of the applicant. Okay.
But it has to cover all the costs in
Yes,
the project. Yeah.
This is what I
For the promoter and the partner.
explained. Who wants to
Okay.
go?
Yeah. We have this one call for collaboration from cruising agency, sailing agency. So if anybody wants to respond, can. Can man-hours personnel cost be covered? Yes, of course. Are they eligible? Yes, they are. So please have in mind that we cover gross hourly rates in Croatian bruto 2. That means that all the costs that are legally required in Croatia and in Norway are eligible. So be aware of that when you calculate your average hourly rate. For the realization of our project like this, we need to buy some specific data concerning the realization of offshore wind farms. From the information we have, this data cannot be publicly published. Is it acceptable? Will such cost be eligible? I mean, these are specific questions, project related. We cannot answer them at this time. We'll have to see project application.
But Marin, I think we can reply in a general way.
Okay.
So, of course, the collection of data is an eligible cost, and we do not expect that you are publishing everything you have collected or the report you are preparing in your project. What we want you to publish is information about the bilateral initiative, what are the activities in general, and what are the expected results and how this will contribute to future bilateral collaboration. You are not supposed to publish your feasibility study or something, just to make this clear.
Yes. And of course, your business or future business collaboration can be in form of a business secret. Let's say you want to keep it to yourself. Of course, you don't have to reveal the details of that. You just mentioned the basic details, the funding and support of Norway grants, and that is basically what we expect from the publicity information.
Okay. Must the partner participate financially, or can the applicant be the only one responsible for securing the finances for the project, for the 15% of the project that will not be funded from the grant? So basically, it is up to you and the partner to agree how this financial arrangement will work. But usually, applicant covers their part and the partner covers their part, but still it is possible that only applicant covers the remaining 15%. Matchmaking events, when will be organized, where we can find info on that. So until now, we have had many matchmaking events, either online or live. We very often organize some events related to green and blue sectors. But at this point, we do not have in mind, at least not during July, which is relevant to you. So basically, you will have to make your own efforts in order to find a partner. And maybe this info session is a good opportunity to see if there is some interesting entity for your project that you can contact afterwards. So basically, yes, you will have to do your own search and see and to find the appropriate partner.
If I may add, just the reason why we are not organizing a matchmaking event is that the time is short. We know it is 6 weeks from we publish the call until the deadline. So we believe that already established partnerships or existing partnerships or existing contacts is the best way forward for this bilateral call. It might be difficult to find new partners now and start to develop something together. And again, have in mind that this should be the aim is to work on some long-term bilateral collaboration.
Okay, we have another question, same question as Miss Dorothea. And should partnership agreement include detailed finances between partners, or it is acceptable just to describe all partnership activities which will be done descriptive regarding 15% self-funded? Does it need to be somehow divided between partners, or one can participate fully? Grants will be approved to one partner applicant. Thank you. Okay, so partnership agreement, we offer template for that, and I mean it's a starting point for you. You can add or remove whatever you see fit, which covers all the, let's say, relationship details with your partners on this project. So financials can go either way. You can cover partners, can project promoters can cover everything. You can split it. You can split it by the activities. You can split it in some other way. It's all up to you. Yeah. And the grants will be approved to one partner applicant. Yes, that's true. So we will have one grant contract with the applicant, and the applicant will be responsible for the project, and the responsibility is shared through the partnership agreement. So I think that should be clear. If any specific questions arise, from that, you can ask separately. 15% of the cost can be covered from working hours. I'm not sure if I understand this correctly. Working hours are eligible cost, and we can cover, let's say, if it's de minimis 85% grant rate, we can cover 85% of those working hours spent on eligible project activities. 15% is covered by the applicant or the partner. I hope I answered the question. Okay, we have a comment here. And can advance of expenses for costs falling outside the project period be covered by the project? For example, if a workshop must take place outside of this period. No, we don't have eligible activities outside the period. We don't have eligible expenses outside the period. Everything has to be done and paid and finished and finalized within the project implementation period. Okay, we covered all the questions from the chat. If anybody wants to ask something, now, live, just ask. If we did not explain something.
Everything is clear?
Yeah, It seems so.
Yeah. If everything is clear, no more questions in the chat, nobody wants to raise their hand, then I guess we are all done. Okay, all
Okay.
clear, thank you, that's good.
I would just say a few words. We will send this presentation to you by email, and we intended to send it not as a blind copy, but in a way that you can see each other's email addresses, if that is okay with all of you. If somebody has an issue on that, please let us know. But by doing so, we also want you to get in contact with another entity if you think this is of relevance to you. So yes, this was the intention, if this is okay with all of you. And we will also put this recording on our website, so you can listen to it in case you need to hear something again, or you think you have misunderstood something, so it will be available there.
Good, thank you, Egli. Can you move to the last slide, Marin?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if there still should be some specific questions, you can address them to us on this email address, and please write in English so that everybody can understand from our side and reply in English as well. So since there are no more questions or issues, then I guess we can just say thank you very much for your interest. Thank you for joining. We have had approximately 40 participants during the entire webinar, so I think that is a very good result. So please get in touch if there are something that are not clear, but except from that, I wish you good luck and hope we will receive some very good bilateral applications. Really look forward to that. So thank you very much.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.